Hi everyone, I'm Koryn Okey and welcome back to Breezeway Academy. At Breezeway Academy, you'll learn how to build stronger, more professional vacation rental operations. So whether you manage 10 homes or 1,000, this series is here to give you practical frameworks, proven strategies, and real-world best practices that you can apply immediately. At Breezeway, we work with thousands of property managers around the world, and every day we get to see how high-performing operators structure their teams, build their workflows, and deliver 5-star stays consistently. But we also see where operations break down. So in this series, Mastering the Guest Experience, we're focusing on one of the most important outcomes of your operations, the guest experience. Because at the end of the day, this is what everything builds towards. And in this video specifically, we're gonna break down the full guest journey, from pre-arrival to the stay itself and post-departure, so you can understand how every stage contributes to the overall experience. One of the biggest misconceptions in our industry is that the guest experience starts at check-in and ends at checkout. But that's not really how the guest experiences their stay. The guest experience actually starts the minute they book, and it continues until they've left a review. And it includes everything in between. When a guest leaves a review, they're not just rating one thing. They're thinking about, how easy was it to get into the property? Was the home ready when I arrived? How quickly were the issues that came up handled? How did I feel while I was there? But it goes even deeper than that, as guests are often booking these stays for really important reasons. They could be celebrating milestone birthdays or anniversaries. They could be family trips or reunions or long-awaited vacations. These are the moments where memories are made. Often they're also investing a lot in these trips. Between the cost of the rental, the travel, and everything that goes into it, expectations are high. And the guests expect a level of hospitality that matches that investment. As a host or property manager, you play a really vital role in that. You get to set the tone for the experiences, and you make sure that the moments feel seamless, they're comfortable, and they're memorable. The more you can plan for the guest journey across every stage of the experience, the bigger impact you can have. And even small moments like confusion before arrival or a slow response to a question can really have an overall impact on the perception. So, if you want to improve your guest experience, you need to look at the entire guest journey. So let's break that down into 3 key stages: pre-arrival, in-stay, and post-departure. Each of these plays a really different role, but they all work together to shape the experience that your guest remembers. So let's start with pre-arrival. This is everything that happens between booking the property and the physical check-in. It includes the booking confirmation and rental agreement signature, pre-arrival conversations, the check-in instructions, and most importantly, making sure that the property is guest ready. From the guest perspective, this stage is all about building confidence. They're asking themselves, do I know where I'm going? Am I gonna be able to get in? Is everything gonna be as I expect it to be? And this is where a lot of confusion happens. If the instructions aren't clear or if the communication is underwhelming, then that can create stress before the guest even arrives. And once that trust is shaken, it's really hard to recover. So the goal of the pre-arrival experience is simple. You want to provide the guest with clarity, confidence, and no surprises. Next is the actual stay itself, and this is where your operations really get to shine in a very real way. It's where your first impressions are made, and when your guests arrive, they have high expectations. They've planned for this, they've invested in it, and they are expecting everything to be perfect from the moment they walk in the door. So that first impression of them walking in is what sets the tone for the entire stay. Is the home safe? Is it clean? Is it well maintained? Does it match the listing photos? Does it feel inviting? Is it what they need for their trip? But the experience doesn't stop there. What happens after the first impression is just as important. During the stay, guests are actively using the property, and this is where issues can come up. They might have questions about how something works, they might need help finding information, or something may not be working the way that they expect it to. And this is where your mid-stay communication becomes essential, because guests expect clear, quick, helpful responses, even to simple questions like, what's the Wi-Fi? How do I control the thermostat? How do I use the coffee maker? All of these can really impact how smooth a stay feels. And then there are the moments when something goes wrong. Maintenance issues happen, an appliance breaks. There's a concern about running short on supplies. These situations are likely inevitable because no matter how well you plan, you have to respond to them when something goes wrong. Your guests aren't usually expecting perfection, but they are expecting responsiveness. They want to know if somebody's going to help them. Is it going to get resolved quickly? So during the stay, it's not just about setting the expectations at the beginning of the stay. It is about continuing to deliver on those expectations throughout the entire time they're in your property. And this is where a really important idea comes in. Operations are the guest experience. Your cleaning, your inspection, your maintenance, all of the communication, all of that behind the scene work that happens directly impacts the guest experience in your home. If something is missed operationally, the guest is the one who feels it. And then the final stage is departure. This is where everything is happening leading up to and after checkout. But this part of the stage can often be overlooked, though it has incredible impact. This is going to include things like the checkout process, how you followed up with any communication, how any issues were resolved, and how you asked for the review. Because from the guest perspective, this is the final impression, and that final impression is really what tends to stick. This is where you can create loyalty, or as many of us know it as, repeat guests. If the experience was smooth, if you were thoughtful and they felt like it was complete, then your guests are more likely to come back and to recommend your property to others. But on the flip side, if it was confusing or if there's a problem that's not handled well, this is where they're gonna remember that when they go to leave a review. When you look at all three of these different stages together, the guest experience begins to feel less like a single moment and more like a connected story. Each stage builds on the other. Pre-arrival sets the expectations, your in-stay delivers on them, and the post-departure shapes how that experience is remembered. This is where having connected systems make a big difference, because managing all of those stages separately can really become overwhelming. And with Breezeway, operations and communications are connected. That means that tasks are automatically scheduled based on reservations, properties are tracked in real time, and your guest messaging is informing what actually is happening at the property. So instead of guessing whether a property is ready or manually coordinating with your teams, all of that work is aligned. And that alignment creates incredible experiences for your guests. So to learn more about how you can implement these tools in your business, click on the link below to book a time with one of our experts. And as we wrap up this video, remember that the guest experience isn't just about what happens during the stage, it's about the full journey. From the moment they book to the moment they leave you a review. In the next video, we're gonna take this one step further and talk about how we can improve each step in the guest experience and turn all of those into better review scores. And if you have questions about guest experiences or there's challenges that you're running into, drop them in the comments. And, this is important, don't forget to subscribe to Breezeway to stay up to date on Breezeway Academy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.